Hello everyone, myself is Bhandari. We are dealing with the subject software project management. Within that, we are concentrating on the unit named as quality management and people management. For today's session, we are concentrating on the subpoint that is understanding behavior and organizational behavior. Let's start. So, firstly, understanding behavior. The concept or these two words are quite familiar to all of us, but the very important point that we are dealing this are in a form of the software project management. So the people with the practical experience of working on project identify the handling of the people is one of the most important aspect management. Means that if whenever we are dealing with the project management, what is the very important aspect, what is the very important parameter is required to convert a project into a successful project is nothing but handling the people who are working on that project. We should have to be take or care of that people. Means what? Handling means what? That is, we get the answer with the concept called as understanding behavior. So, in short, the project management is indirectly dependent on the management of the team member or that project members. Whenever we are concentrating on this concept, the very big question over here is that whether the effective and sensitive management of any stops comes only from the experience or whether the guidance can be also useful. The question is a very big one. So, for getting the answer for this kind of a question, we are again taking one branch of this understanding behavior is nothing but organizational behavior. The organizational behavior is nothing but the field of social science which help us to involve some kind of theories which explains the people's behavior and what we have turned them into a structured manner. So, to explain this one, let's assume that there is one situation. Its situation is called as an A. So, A is the situation or the experiment or the some kind of a condition. Then the theory says that if A is the situation, then it will be converted into some kind of a result. That result you can be called as an B. So as you are doing the action A, you will be get the result as an B. And for this A and B set, we are taking the n different kinds of attempts to behave, to observe the behavior of these variables. That is, if I am changing A, what is the corresponding results B? I am changing the condition A, corresponding result B is also going to be changes. And hence we are taking out such kind of the trials for the A and recording the corresponding results B, and hence some kind of the database or the we get for the condition and its result. And then by observing these two output, input and corresponding output, we put down some kind of a statistical relationship between these two variables, and which by this statistical analysis, we come to the conclusion that what is the behavior of the situation A which gives me the result B. Nextly, now we are going to be concentrate in detail about the point that is organizational behavior. Organizational behavior is the study of application of knowledge about how people or individuals or groups can be act in the organizations. It does not this by taking a system approach. This is, it intercepts people and organization relationship in terms of the whole person or a whole group or a whole organization, or you can say a whole social system. Its purpose is to build a better relationship by achieving human objective, organizational objective and social objectives. The organization base is rest on the management's philosophy, values, vision and goal. In turn, this drives the organizational culture, which is composed of the formal organization, informal organization and the social environment. The management's action of motivating human beings in the organization is very important. Whenever there is a management, the very important aspect of the organization is that the organization always try to motivate their people. So, Douglas MacGeorge involved some kind of an assumptions or the generalization and the hypothesis relating to the human behavior and human nature. This MacGeorge has characterized this assumption into two opposite views, and this is called as a theory X and theory Y. Now let's see one by one. Firstly, theory X and theory Y. Within that, firstly we are concentrating on the theory X. This is the traditional theory of human behavior. In this theory, MacGeorge put down some kind of an assumption about the human behavior. These assumptions are as follows. Firstly, management is the process of directing employees' efforts, motivating them, controlling their actions, and modifying their behavior to fit needs of the organization. So it means that management means what? You are managing the people means what? You have to be motivate them. You have to modify their behavior in a proper manner so that it can be fit the needs of the organization. And for that, we should have to be put down some kind of a control on their actions. You have to be take care of the employees. You have to be direct them. You have to be guide them in a proper manner so that it will be converted into the organization's progress. Nextly, without these active interventions by the management, the people would be passive, that means even resistance to the organizational needs. You should have to be make them some kind of you have to provide them some kind of motivative atmosphere. These employees or these people should be get rewarded so that they may be get motivated. If they are wrong any place, you have to be punish them in a controlled manner, and you have to be direct their activities which are carried out. The average man is by nature indolent, that is, he works as little as possible. It may happen. Nextly, he has some kind of a lack of an ambitions. It may having dislike responsibilities and prefers to be lead. These are the assumptions. These are the assumptions we are going to be considered. These are some kind of an assumptions on these are the one side of the human behavior. He is inherently self-centered. It may be indifferent to the organizational need. So any of the employee from your organization may be a self-centered, which may not be in beneficial of the organizational need. He is by nature resistant to the change. He is not that much of flexible to change according to the needs of the organization. So these assumptions about the human nature are negative in their approach. However, much organizational processes have developed these assumptions. These are assumptions. We have to consider it. Though it is in a positive way, a negative way, parallelly with in a view of the organization need, but we have to be considered this side of the human or the employee's behavior. Nextly, we are considering the second side, another side of this behavior, that is called as theory Y. The assumptions of the theory Y are described by the math charge in the following verse. The first is, the expenditure of the physical and mental efforts in work is as natural as play or rest. The average human being does not inherently dislike any kind of work. Depending on the controllable actions, conditions, work may be a source of satisfaction or it may be a source of a punishment. So this is the positive way, that is, any of the employee is taken working or enjoying their work, then it may be a motivative part and it may be considered as a source of satisfaction. But if any of the organization is demoralize a particular employee and disliking its work regularly, then it may be considered as the source of punishment. Nextly, external control and the threat of a punishment are not only the means of bringing about the efforts towards the organizational objective. Whatever the organizational objective, obviously it is nothing but a progress of the organization. But only the punishment or some kind of the external control will not be convert the employee's work into the successive organizational object. Man will exercise self-direction and self-control in the service of an objective to which he is committed. So self-direction and self-control, these are the only 2 points which self-motivative thing to any of the employee which can be direct that particular person towards the progress, towards the positive output, which will be indirectly moves towards the organizational success. Nextly, the average human being learns under proper condition. What he can learn from this one is not only to accept but also seek the responsibilities. So any of the newer employee which may be sick or which may be lag behind for facing the responsibilities, but if we put down some kind of a proper condition, if we motivate them, if we provide the good atmosphere, then he may be convert and he may able to take the different kinds of responsibility. Avoidance of the responsibility, lack of ambitions, emphasis on a security are nothing but the general consequences of the experience. As the experience is going to be increased, the person is able to take out the responsibility. He may become some kind of an ambitious, and all this working or all these activities may change the human characteristics. All these activities may convert the human into a good team leader or a good team member. Nextly, the capacity to exercise a relatively high degree of ambition, cleverness and creativity in the solution of the organizational problem is widely distributed in population. So you have the person which is more clever, more creative, who having different more degree of an ambition, obviously that is much helpful for to handle or to deal with an organizational problem, and it will be gives you the proper solution in a fast way, and that will be convert or that will be helpful for the organization progress. So we can say that the assumptions of this theory Y suggest the new approach of the management. As we will be just seen about this theory X, and we have also seen the theory Y. So we can say that these are the two sides of a coin. Theory Y just gives some kind of behaviors of the human or the employee, which may be somewhat the negative sides of the human, but there are also the another side which tells with the help of the theory why. And this theory why is nothing but moves or providing emphasizing on a positive aspects of the human behavior. So we come to the conclusion that this theory X and theory Y, it emphasizes on the cooperative endeavor of management and employee. These are the sides, two sides of a coin. So the success of the organization is not based only on the management or only on the employee, but it should be a cooperative nature of both the management and the employees.